So today, some FEMA staff has been ordered to stay at their hotels because of a credible safety threat from armed militias against FEMA. The FEMA staff that are on the ground in the mountains, do we need to tone the rhetoric down a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's totally required.
Donald Trump has a lot of experience in dealing with natural disasters. Remember? The recent back-to-back hurricanes that devastated Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, well, they were horrific. But they still are a distant second to the harm this wafflecock will deliver should he win on November the 5th.
Well, I think you have to let people know how they're doing. If they were doing a great job, I think we should say that too, because I think they should be rewarded. But if they're not doing, does that mean that if they're doing a poor job, we're supposed to not say it? These people are entitled to say it. And these are honest people behind us. If FEMA were doing well, they would be saying they did a good job. They're not, for the most part, political people. For the most part, they're not political people. But you've obviously seen nothing but, very bad statements coming out about the job that FEMA and this administration has done, having to do with this area, North Carolina as a whole, and by the way, other states also. But look, a lot of the money is gone. They don't have any money. They have to have a meeting in Washington, a special meeting in Washington to get money. It's all gone. They've spent it on illegal migrants. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are drug dealers. Many of them come out of mental institutions and insane asylums. And many of them are terrorists. And they spent money to bring these people into our country, and they don't have money to take care of the people from North Carolina and other states.
This is, of course, what Trump does. With people suffering, he stands in the middle of their suffering and lies, all while endangering the efforts of lives of FEMA workers and first responders. And of course, Trump directs every issue and every crisis at immigrants. Why? Because he's lied about every aspect of immigration to appease his racist base.
And white people are done being bullied.
Discriminating against and just denigrating white people.
The truth about immigrants is the one consistently great thing about America, and Trump turned it into an obscenity.
We got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world.
Because they're taking these people who can't speak English, who don't even know what this country is, and they're registering them and trying to get them out to vote.
Women living in the suburbs, I keep hearing about the suburban woman doesn't like Trump. Well, I think it's a fake poll, because why would they like me? I keep the suburbs safe, keeping the illegal aliens away from the suburbs.
What would solve the whole thing in the border if they would just start shooting? Only shoot a couple, and they would go home.
Hate is Trump's secret weapon, except it's no longer a secret.
You challenge Donald Trump or his VP nominee, Vance. If you challenge them on, well, these concepts don't seem to make much sense, and nobody really understands them, and the economists tell you they're not going to work. If you challenge them, they'll fall back on one answer. It does not matter what it is. Housing, healthcare, education, paying for the bills. One answer. Blame the immigrants.
Back to the relief efforts. For the record, FEMA has all the money they need, and their work has been applauded by Republican governors like Kemp.
I just spoke. The president just called me yesterday afternoon. I missed him and called him right back. And he just said, hey, what do you need? And I told him, we got what we need. We'll work through the federal process. He offered that if there's other things we need, just to call him directly, which I appreciate that. But we've had FEMA embedded with us since, a day or two before the storm hit in our state operations center in Atlanta. We got a great relationship with them. We've been in touch with our congressional delegation, with Speaker Burns, the legislative delegation. And so, thankfully we have an experienced team that's used to this, and just like the expedited disaster relief that we're requesting.
But tiny fingers will stand on dead bodies to appear tall, and he's done it time and time again. While Biden, FEMA, and state officials work to reach people and restore the infrastructure needed to bring them relief, here's what Trump was doing.
Look at that. Look at that. Thank you, Mr. President. You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you. You're not ordinary.
That is a disgusting display of ego and indifference to the hundreds dead and millions displaced and looking for relief. But it's Trump.
And I'll tell you what, any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala
you got to have your head examined because they are really screwing you. They are really screwing you.
He is the classic definition of a sociopath. Look at this video with the destruction of Hurricane Helene in the background.
Offered because, I also own McDonald's restaurants. I know that you perfected your skills behind the counter a day or so ago, and it was my honor to present President Trump with the French fry certification pin. Thank you so much for being here.
A French fry pin? What is that, for like 6-year-olds? Trump has taken every opportunity to do the exact opposite of what these hurricane victims need. And in the process, he spread lies that make it dangerous for those first responders. How f***ed up is that?
People are dying in North Carolina. They're dying all over those 5-6 states. They're dying, and they're getting no help from our federal government because they have no money, because their money's been spent on people that should not be in our country.
And should Trump regain power? Well, it'll be a dangerous balance of advanced malignant narcissism and his total lack of empathy for anyone other than himself.
We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
For the record, FEMA is under the Department of Homeland Security. And since Republicans own the House majority, they can put whomever they want on the Homeland Security Subcommittee. Wait for it.
Have you guys been following 4chan, Q, any of that stuff? Anybody? All right, so Q is a patriot. We know that for sure.
Yeah, she's on the Homeland Subcommittee. That's like hiring Matt Gaetz as a babysitter.
Sex charges against me.
But what happens when Trump's message is the only one these residents hear? When Fox News doesn't correct his lies?
Do you mind if I pray for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so, and all those that are prayers, would you join with me in this prayer? Father, I thank you for this man that you have raised up in this moment, in this season, for your purposes.
What the hell did you just say?
Sadly, these are the very same people that Trump mocks. Honestly, you think that guy's going to get invited to Mar-a-Lago? Oh, wait, there he is, right there. The Republican Party has allowed Trump to play his biggest con against the very people who trust him the most. They believe that he cares, but of course, that's not true.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
And I don't have enough time here to roll with the science of climate change and how these coastline states and mostly rural and unrepresented Americans will pay the ultimate price.
Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming.
The truth is this, and it's always been true. Trump will use the downtrodden, from immigrants to poor, multi-generational Americans, to carry forward his dark madness.
If you don't like our religion, then we don't want you in our country.
Trump doesn't believe in God. In Trump's mind, he is God.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
And this guy who doesn't know a Bible from an old Sears catalog will nonetheless push his agenda down the throats of America until they choke on it.
Differently, I would have wiped the floor with the guys that weren't loyal, which I will now do, which is great. I love getting even with people. But
this election, however, is bigger than the damage Trump can and will do to the poor, women, and minorities, because Trump is his own natural disaster, a Category 5 asshole, bearing down on our nation like a malevolent virus. I'm sorry about the mixed metaphors, but there aren't enough words to describe Trump's sociopathy. And while we have FEMA to respond to hurricanes, the only defense against Trump, well, frankly, it's me and you.
This is not a normal election.
Damn right.
Yes!
Tick-tock, mother...
I'm ready, let's go.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
They're eating the dogs. Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Dan.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff. Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock,
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.